What's up, YouTube? It's tinysey and welcome to my digital garden. Today I wanted to tackle the topic of the girl's girl because we have been seeing this word be thrown around for the last year or so. It's starting to become misused, or perhaps we're losing the meaning of the word. What brought this up was Ice Spice. I am so sorry that this girl just keeps prompting me to make videos, but I guess she's just always on my timeline. Anyway, so apparently what happened with Ice Spice is that she has a new song out with Central C, and people are believing that she is in a relationship with Central C.
Central C's on the album. We have a song called Did It First, and we basically just talking about like, if you cheat, I'ma cheat back, but worse.
Toxic Bob.
The toxic Bob, yes.
But that's not it. They think that she potentially has home wrecked the relationship because Central C used to be in a relationship with a girl named Mads.
I'm this close to calling the fucking police because that is a threat. He has had no direct access to me ever since that phone call. I'm thinking that this conversation is going to be our love, our relationship, so tell me why 10 hours later he's posted up with a fucking baddie. Guys, imagine you break up with your boyfriend one night and the next day he is posted up with Ice Spice and Chrome Heart. I didn't even actually get to break up with him and he's already with the next girl. He gave me not even like 12 hours notice before he was being filmed in Chrome Hearts with her. The flight from America is 12 hours. She was already on the fucking plane. Hey, woman to woman, what did he get you from Chrome Hearts? Because all I ever got was a tank top.
So there's just a lot of assumptions going around, and now Ice Spice is kind of getting the home wrecker title, and just her girl's girl card is being revoked, which is obviously not a good thing. So we're just gonna get into the politics of girl's girl because there are just countless women who have had their girl's girl card revoked. Ariana Grande is probably the most famous one that we know. There's just a lot of people, mostly celebrities, because that's just who everyone talks about, that have done things that women deem not to be girl's girl behavior. So let's get into the video. What is a girl's girl in the first place, right? Like, what is it? According to Urban Dictionary, it refers to a girl who respects female etiquette, is not petty, and strives to be ethical and decent in her dealings with her female friends. Simply put, a girl's girl respects and values the girls' code. It's just a code of conduct that women have and how we're supposed to treat each other, how we're supposed to act around each other. And you just want to uphold this code, so to speak. That's essentially what being a girl's girl is. Why do people want to be a girl's girl? Why is it so detrimental to not be one, to have your girl's girl card revoked? This goes into the importance of female friendships. These are so important to women for so many reasons, but especially historically, female friendships have been a lot of the reasons why we have gotten so far as women in America today. In 1890, a lot of women's clubs started to form around the time of the women's suffrage movement. But particularly in 1914, a women's club membership had reached about 1.5 million people. Initially, this club formed around women that wanted to uphold traditional gender roles and they were just trying to make friends. But eventually, by being in these clubs and surrounded by other women, they started to form different political beliefs. They realized that their whole identity did not have to be about them being a mother or fulfilling traditional gender norms. This is when they began to gain their own voice politically. These clubs were where a lot of these feminist ideologies began to take root and spread, and we were able to support each other and to foster our own identity and our own way of thinking. We showed that, yes, we can be more than this gender role that we were given. Unfortunately, after women obtained their right to vote, a lot of these clubs began to disperse and women wanted to join other male-dominated spaces. But doing this actually made us lose a lot of the power that we had. The strength in numbers was the reason as to why they were able to get a lot of things to push forward, and they were able to like create all of these brilliant ideas. And once they joined these male spaces, these male dominated spaces, they lost that ability to have a safe space to build on more controversial ideas. They didn't quite realize the importance that female relationship space actually was holding in their lives. Some people say that because these women clubs stopped meeting together, this is why we saw a lot less radical change for women. And so again, being a girl's girl, it just goes back to the power of female relationships and female friendships. It's something that we do recognize. Wanting to be a girl's girl oftentimes does have to do with wanting to make sure that you are an advocate, or you can be seen as an advocate or used as an advocate, or help some girl in some way. It's almost a way to signal to other women that you are for them. There's nothing to fear. You are safe. You're a safe space. And also, it's to make sure that you are not mistaken for a pick-me. And what is a pick-me, you might ask? This word has been around for about 2 years. You've probably seen it thrown around on social media. The term pick-me girl is used to describe a woman who obviously and obsessively works to gain men's attention or acceptance. Typically, a pick-me girl talks about how she's not like other women, especially in ways considered typically feminine. A pick-me girl may point out how she doesn't wear makeup or prefers sports to fashion, and no one wants to be a pick-me. Like Pearl, if you know who Pearl is, she's that conservative podcaster who is just like unbelievable. She's not real. Well, she's real, but she's unbelievable.
Maybe if you get over a certain weight, your husband can divorce you. And no, the men can get fat, the women can't. Yes, ladies, double standards. Because we are supposed to be the beautiful ones. We are supposed to be the good-looking ones. That is not men's job. But yet, women, the first gut reaction, well, what if he gets fat? What if he gets obese? No, the equivalent would be, what if he goes broke and stops working and refuses to work?
Just ridiculous, almost like rage bait things, but I actually think she believes these sorts of things, but she says it in alliance with other men, and she doesn't understand the nuances of why modern women behave the way that they behave. And so she is sort of the ultimate pick-me. She's a great example of being a pick-me and an internalized misogyny. So that's what a pick-me is, and that's why a lot of women they don't want to be that. But another interesting point to make about pick-me's is that the term has lost its meaning, whereas it was supposed to point out something very real and something that we all should learn about. Like, yes, we all have bits of internalized misogyny. Let's recognize when we are distancing ourselves from things that are feminine in hopes of, fitting in with guys. Let's recognize that and try to heal it. But now pick-me is just used as the way to bully other women and to just sort of degrade them for things that may not even necessarily be pick-me behavior. Some women might just truly, honestly be living their life in their truth. Like maybe they actually do like sports. Maybe they actually just don't like lip gloss. They're not bragging about it to the world, but next thing you know, the pick-me accusations are coming out.
Real pick-me girls are pick-me girls, even when boys aren't watching.
I'm sorry, that was a waste of time. Waste of time. Get off. Fuck off.
Someone that I think unjustly will get a pick-me accusation is Kendall Jenner.
I just feel like you guys bond so well because, you're super into makeup, and I'm obviously not as into makeup as you. I felt like you were bonding more with Kylie because she's, into makeup and stuff, and I'm totally not.
Some people might have their other opinions, but when we put her next to somebody like Pearl, just Pearly Things, we see how calling Kendall Jenner a pick-me kind of loses the meaning of the word. Just Pearly Things is clearly a pick-me. But Kendall Jenner, she might say, I'm a tomboy, I like sports, I don't really like makeup. She might say these sorts of things, but I don't think her intention is to negatively speak on things that are feminine. So TikTok has definitely altered the meaning of this word. It's losing its value. It's losing its educational meaning, which is to recognize when you might be acting in a way that perpetuates misogynistic mindsets. So anyway, I still think its original point holds true, and a lot of women don't want to be a pick-me. And this is where the word girl's girl comes in. It's become a lot more popular, especially after the popularity of the whole pick-me trope.
Gina, you're wearing sweatpants. It's Monday.
So?
So that's against the rules, and you can't sit with us.
Whatever. Those rules aren't real.
They were real that day I wore a vest, because that vest was disgusting. You can't sit with us!
And I think something similar is happening with the title of Girl's Girl. For now, it is mostly being used correctly, but we're already starting to see how we're saying like, you're not a girl's girl, like Ice Spice, you're not a girl's girl, when it might not necessarily be just to revoke her girl's girl card just yet. Especially because I think people already just like hate Ice Spice. Like they absolutely hate her. They don't understand why she's famous. They don't like her brand. People are ready. They are absolutely ready to pitchfork her.
Torches! Get your torches! Pitchforks! Can't be an angry mob without pitchforks!
So I'm not even surprised that they would take this situation and they're ready to revoke the card and act like she had an Ariana Grande moment. I think the main point of saying that you're a girl's girl is kind of like soft feminism. And feminism is a range of socio-political movements and ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equity of the sexes. And so the reason why I would say this is soft feminism is because it's not political in nature, but in the end of the day, the underlying tones of being a girl's girl is just showing that you have allegiance to women, like you're for the girls, like you care about them and you're gonna put them first in certain situations. As always, these things that were just simple and just pure, where it's like, yeah, I'm for other girls, I support you, I'm for you, I understand the intricacies. Now it's like there's rules to it, and if you do this, you're not a girl's girl. The rules are starting to manifest just like they did for the pick-me's, and it's becoming very tribal. It's becoming very like in crowd, out crowd. And that's not to say that some of the women that have gotten their girls card revoked didn't deserve it, because I definitely think it was warranted to like point out a lot of the reasons why these women were not for other women. But I will say that with this Ice Spice situation, we don't know if that's the case. We have no idea what's happening. We don't even know if Ice Spice and Central C are dating because it has not been confirmed. And this is my problem with society and their relationship with celebrity that I've talked about time and time again. I think that they are very obsessed. I think they're in their business. I think they make a lot of assumptions and then they cancel them and just pitchfork them without even having any proof. In some situations, we can definitively say it was a bad situation. And yes, they made a song together and they're performing it. And obviously they're doing the whole PR promotion thing where they make it seem like they're in a relationship, which they've done for countless movies. I think even this last Netflix series of Bridgerton, they're trying to kind of make them look like they're in a relationship for the PR of it all because they know how shipping goes.
PR relationships have officially advanced to the next stage of evolution because the way these two have been looking at each other and reaching for each other and talking about how much fun they've had in their sex scenes in season 3 of Bridgerton, like they know what they're doing. And it feels different to some of the other PR manufactured chemistry that we've seen before. Pollen is different, it's evolved, it's self-aware. And I think the reason why it works so well is because they really dance the line between like knowing that millions of people are watching their every move, but then seemingly forgetting it. And then so it really feels like we're catching a glimpse of their like candid chemistry.
And shipping is essentially when fans pair two people together, and it could be characters, it can be people in real life. It's a part of stan culture, and it can definitely be used as promotion. It can be used to market something that they're trying to promote, like songs, like a TV show, like movies. And so I think they're using that in order to promote this song that Ice Spice has with Central C. We have no idea if Ice Spice and Central C are dating. What I do know is they're definitely using the accusations being thrown around to promote the song. And I think, unfortunately, Ice Spice is getting most of the hate, which happens a lot of times in these situations where it could potentially be like, oh, did you break up a happy relationship? And then the woman like gets in a whole bunch of trouble, and it's like, well, what about the guy? You know, like, what about Central C? If he really did like cheat with Ice Spice, or if he really did break up with his previous girlfriend to be with Ice Spice, then it's like, why are we only pointing out Ice Spice's flaws when it's like, let's not forget about Central C. Let's not forget about the man. Let's make sure both parties are equally, you know, getting their flogging. But also, to what extent do we want to be in their business? Like, to what extent are we going to even be in their business? Ice Spice is now sort of getting her girls girl card revoked. They're finding another way to sort of like police behavior, use something that had a good cause and sort of turn it around and like lose its original meaning, because I don't think we know the full situation. And to judge her character, or to say like she's not a girl's girl because of something that we don't even know the full truth on, is frustrating. It's something that needs to change, but I also just feel like they were gonna find something anyway, especially when it comes to Ice Spice, because a lot of people don't really like her.
If you're doing it, stop it. Get some help.
So I guess ultimately, when it comes to this whole girls girl conversation, I definitely think that there are times when there are actually women that are just not girls. They don't care about other women. They just are for themselves. They might actively hate women. They might hate themselves. They might have a lot of internal hatred that is detrimental to a lot of the progress that women have made in society. But also, some women might just be more introverted. They might just not portray some of these characteristics in this like rule book that's starting to be created. Some women might just not fit those characteristics, but it doesn't mean they are a detriment to other women. And I think that's the nuance that is starting to become missed with this conversation of the girl's girl. So ultimately, I think that being a girl's girl is something that we may be running away from the original term. Let's make sure that we understand the power that female friendships have, but not only friendships, but just like uplifting other women. Because in the end of the day, we do live in a patriarchal society where things that are masculine are seen as good and things that are feminine are oftentimes degraded. And so when you can be that advocate for other women, or that safe space, or that person that other women can count on to, you know, do the right thing, or whatever it is, just what you want to be seen as. But when we start to use it as a weapon or as a way to police other women's behaviors and actions, then it starts to become not a positive thing or an educational thing where people can start to learn about the importance of female friendships. We start to lose the meaning of it all. Ultimately, in the end of the day, everyone's different. The way that they act, the way that they show up in the world, it's not going to look the same on everyone. Let's not let this word run away like the word pick me has ran away. And that's not to say that any celebrity that I've talked about doesn't deserve to be held accountable for whatever has happened. But first, we have to make sure that what's happened has actually happened, because we have no idea about any of the situation. Nothing's been confirmed unless it has. And in that case, I will put my foot in my mouth. But what do you guys think about the topic of girls girl? What do you think about female relationships? It can be really difficult. It could be really hard, but just what are your thoughts on it? I saw all of the butterflies from the last video. I'm always shocked when I see that people made it to the end of the video. I don't know why. It's like, wow, they actually made it. Thank you. What should we do this time? For emojis this time, let's do our favorite animal. I think that's fun because it's like I get to see what your guys' favorite animal is. So let's do that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was interesting. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.